Hey, 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 hey there, beautiful brown girl family. How are you all doing today? Hey, Aisha.
Hello, Kimberland.
So excited to have you here with us. Welcome, welcome you all. We see you all getting in here. So come on, as you come in, go ahead and start introducing yourselves in the comments. Let us know where you are watching from. Also, let us know if this is your very first time hanging out with us on Brown Conversations. We love to celebrate our first timers. So if this is your very first time, go ahead and drop first time down there in the comments. If you are always hanging out with us here, go ahead and drop OG in the comments so that we can appreciate you. And yeah, I'm so excited about this show. As you all see, we have a special host with us today.
Hey, I know, I was right there. I was like,
Yes,
okay.
I know you're always here for a good dance. So, I
Always,
appreciate it,
always.
right? Shout out to Monifa. This is her very first time hanging out with us from Newark, New Jersey. So I'm gonna give you a little Bankhead bounce, 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 because that's the dance of the day. I don't know. We're gonna go with that one. We see Yolanda is here from Chicago. We have Stephanie is here with us from Atlanta. Kara, this is also her first time from Detroit, Michigan. And you get a cabbage patch because that's what came out. Kara, receive it. Okay. We have Tianda. OG is here from Indy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sharon, first timer, is here with us. Get it, Sharon. Get it, Sharon. Get it, get it, get it. Okay. Elise is also here, OG from New Jersey. So excited. We have Sharon here from Tampa, Florida. So,
What's up, Sharon?
okay, get on in here, y'all. So as you are coming in again, go ahead and shout yourself out in the comments. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you are watching from. Let us know if this is your very first time or if you're always here hanging out with us on Brown Conversations. Y'all, we have so much to get to today. So I do want to go ahead and throw us on in so that we can we got some juicy things, y'all. So you probably want to go ahead and tag some of your friends in the comments. Let them know to come on and get in here. We need their voice. Okay, we need we need some opinions because we got some things to talk about. All right, so
Opinions.
okay. So while I'm going through this and doing our official intro, go ahead and tag your friends in the comments so that they can come and hang out with us as well. So having said all of that, y'all, welcome to Brown Conversations. This is our virtual platform where we talk about all things brown girl related. We are here to connect you to other like-minded women and give you a platform to share your voice in the brown conversations that matter to us and those we care about. We invite you to connect with beautiful brown girls and connect with us individually as we take this journey through life. My name is Kimberland, and this week I am coming to you all from, drum roll, I'm back in Mexico City, y'all, and I am so happy. I am so happy to be back. I am a professional frolicker, and it was time for me to get back out here in these frolicking streets. I have been in the States for about a month, and it was a lot. So I am here in Mexico City. I'm an educational advocate. I am a actor, a model, a author, a twerker. Like, I don't know, I'm just out here doing the things, right? But tonight I am one of your hosts here on Brown Conversations. So excited to be with you.
I want that job as a twerker. Can I have that job?
Honey, we are accepting applications, okay? All
Yeah,
you got to do is
I'm right after the show. I'm applying.
Listen, you just you could try out during the show, okay? You just go ahead and just let it be what it's gonna be.
The people ain't ready today.
They're
crazy.
not. They're like, who is this crazy girl over there, honey? Tell them about yourself, girl.
Hello. Hey, beautiful community. I am Aisha. Some of you know me from Hey Beautiful. Normally, I'm over there on the weekends with our regions in the Hey Beautiful family. So normally I'm there. I am a wife, a mother. I'm also an educator to little people. Pray for me. I am an actor, a model, a dancer for real, like not just the twerking kind. I am also an artist, as you see behind me. And today I'm super excited to be filling in for Sab. Enjoy your time off, Sab. I'll be holding it down here with Kimberland. So it's good to be here.
So glad to have you. Always love when we can pull you out of the comments. I know that you are faithful hanging out with us here on Brown Conversations. So I love it, honey, when we can pull you out, okay, and get you on in here for the people to see. Okay. So having said all of that, the people said, yes, honey. Okay, yeah. So okay, they are here for it.
We gonna have a good time.
Okay. That's gonna be for sure. So having said all of that, we know we have a few folks again that are here with us for the very first time. So we do want to make sure that you know what we're all about here at Beautiful Brown Girls. Everything that we do here revolves around sisterhood, support, and self-care. We want to make sure we're creating authentic friendships. We're swapping stories, experiences, just again, really making sure that we're living our very best lives. So one of the reasons that we ask you all to make sure that you introduce yourselves in the comments and you let us know where you're watching from is because you very well might meet your next best friend right there in the comments. Okay, so be intentional with that. It goes down in the comments. We're here on screen, but y'all be having your own show in those comments. Okay, so we want to make sure that you all keep that coming. So having said that, while we are here, y'all, one of our goals for this year and continuing is really to just increase our reach, let people know about the amazing things that we're doing here at Beautiful Brown Girls and specifically on Brown Conversations and get people into the Brown Conversations. So if you are loving the content, go ahead and stop right now and give us a thumbs up or give us some hearts. That encourages us, it gives us some fuel for the spirit, so that we can really just let this thing flow. I really feel like there's a twerking spirit upon my life right now. I'm gonna just go with it.
I'm bringing it to you.
That must be it. It must be because it is upon my life today.
Turn the music up. I'm good. It was early 90s R&B and hip hop earlier today. So I'm just bringing that to you right now.
Yes, that must be it. I love it. So while we're here, y'all, if you are loving what we're talking about or if it's impacting you, go ahead and drop us some reactions. Again, share that broadcast. And if you feel so led, you can even give us some stars. And that will help us to continue bringing you this type of content. So again, first timer, is it Afia? Spell it for us phonetically in the comments. Please, we want to make sure that we honor you. So congratulations. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the Brown Conversation.
We also want to give you ladies a reminder. All kidding aside, I love being here, but we also love seeing you ladies from the comments come in. So you do have an opportunity to come out of the comments, out from the shadows, come here on screen and do what it is you do to help us out with the show. We've had a few wonderful, amazing ladies. Kale, Irma, these ladies come out of the comments and be dropping these words of wisdom, these pearls that we've been picking up and just loving. So we would love for you ladies to come out of the comments, participate here in Brown Conversations, play some games with us. We'd love for you to have that opportunity. So if it is something you think you want to do, come out of there from the comments, meet us in person or, sort of in person, hang out for a little bit, join in the fun. We would love for you right now in the comments to drop in there, say, bring me on.
Yes.
Just like that. Bring me on, and we will be reaching out to you, or you can email us at beautifulbrowngirls@gmail.com. If you're watching the replay, email us. We will reach back to you, and we would love to see you right here.
And then you can twerk with us too. Okay. That's what we should do. We should start incorporating, how in the classrooms, like we incorporate brain breaks. We should really start incorporating twerk breaks. You know what I mean?
Listen, let's go. I'll do it right now. Come on.
Girl, you ain't got to tell her twice. Okay. But anyway, but like we said, y'all, we have a really exciting show for you all tonight, and definitely again want to make sure that we get the people in here so that we can really center in on what you all are thinking and Yes, share the love. Okay.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
let's go ahead and jump into our show for today. We do have a couple updates that we want to share. And one of the things that's important for us is to make sure that we are keeping you all in the loop about things that are happening in this world, right? And sometimes we get updates about those things. So we have a couple quick updates that we do want to share, just to make sure that you are following up with what's going on.
So we want to circle back around to one of our favorite food bloggers, motivational speakers, fashionistas, cooks. She does it all. So Tabitha Brown, y'all know we love her. We talked about her recently, that her show, It's Complicated. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's adorable. It's super cute. We watch it here at my house. That the Food Network was not playing nice with Tabitha when it came to her show. They weren't ready for all the tab that she was bringing. So after they kind of moved her show around a little bit, she said, that's all right. I got y'all. She is rebounding to the fullest with a book tour. So she is now a cookbook author as well. She's going to be stopping in New York City on an 8-city book tour for her very first cookbook called Cooking from the Spirit. And if you want to pick that up, because I'm sure it's going to have lots of words of wisdom along with great vegan food tips. Maybe I'll try vegan. I don't know. And that book drops on October 4th. And if you're in the New York City area, check her out on her book tour. Or you can probably go to her website and find out where she'll be. 8 cities. I would go if she came near here.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I'll be here for Tab. Okay. So, and I
might not be the cooking type. That's not in my DNA. But I'll go listen to her. Be like,
look, as Tab would say, and that's your business. Okay.
That's right.
So that is A-okay, right? But I've been really looking for some good vegan recipes lately. So I'm excited about this. And shout out to Tab for not letting anything keep her down.
If you watch her show, It's Complicated. Listen, I'll be honest, I got surprised because every recipe they have to make is vegan.
Yeah.
I was surprised at some of the ways they came up with things. I was like, I would actually try that. Like, don't tell me it's vegan. Let me try it. Let me like it, and then tell me afterwards.
And then tell you. Gotcha. Note to self. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this cookbook. I know it's going to be amazing. And again, you all, if you are wanting to catch It's Complicated, it is streaming on Discovery Plus. So that is probably the way.
It's still on the Food Network. It's still on the Food Network as well. It's just sort of in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day. But you can catch the replays of it on Discovery Network, or if you stream Food Network, you can still find her there too.
Gotcha. Cool beans. And again, shout out in the comments to Via. Thank you for spelling your name phonetically for us. We try to put respect on names, you know what I mean? So appreciate that. Thank you for being here with us. We are super excited to have you. So one more update that we have, I don't know if you all remember, this was some months and months and months ago. We talked about there was a swim cap that was developed specifically for Black hair. Now, y'all know, we don't, let me use I statements. I don't really be out here in this water. You feel me? Because it's a lot. Our hair is a lot. It can be a lot. So there was a company that had developed a swim cap specifically for Black hair, and but it wasn't approved through the Olympics. Well, guess what? We have some good news in that it has finally been approved, that our beautiful brown girls who are living in the swim world are now able to use a swim cap that can fit all of our hair. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot to get up in here. You know what I mean? So now that swim cap can fit all of our hair. Our beautiful brown girls are now able to compete in the Olympics, feeling like they are on the same plane with the same type of access as those who have been competing before. So thank you to whoever had to push the button, okay, for that to go into effect. But that has been approved. So we wanted to update you on that as well. And then we have one more update. We've talked about Byron Allen quite a few times on the show. Byron Allen is a media mogul. He actually owns the Black News Network. He owns the Weather Channel. I don't know if you all knew that. But he has recently struck a deal with CBS to bring HBCU sports to major broadcast and streaming platforms. Now, I don't know if you all, this past weekend, Southern University of Baton Rouge played LSU, and it was a really big deal, right? Because HBCUs are usually not on these mainstream platforms. Coach Prime over at Jackson State has also done a lot to get Jackson State into the public eye. So shout out to Byron Allen in creating this opportunity for our HBCU athletes to be able to be highlighted, our band programs, and all the amazing things that are happening at HBCUs. So look out for that on your Roku, your Fire TV, your Google Plus, your Google, your Apples, like all the things, okay? It is called HBCU Go Sports. And again, it is going to center on nationwide sports for the 22-23 sports season, specifically focusing on our HBCUs. So
we have Roku. I need to check that out and like see.
Yes.
Because you can go on the Roku search, and I'm just going to search, and I'm going to search HBCU Go, and
yes,
up. So
yes,
I'm excited for that.
Me too. I think that's a really good one.
I'm a lie. You know what I'm excited for?
What?
The halftime bands. When I was in college, I went for the halftime band show.
Facts.
Facts.
It's so funny being from New Orleans, and we have a really big band culture in New Orleans. So it's so funny because you'll go to PWI sports, and during halftime, everybody goes to concession stands. Well, in HBCU world, everybody comes into the stands because you got to see this show, right? So you're right. I think that's going to be amazing to see those band programs really be put on Front Street and
highlighted.
Give people the opportunity to see what it's like, in our world. So again, shout out to Byron Allen for making that a possibility for the world to really honor our HBCU.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Shout out to him. Okay. All right. So we got some new upcoming releases, y'all. And we got some good things. We got some good stuff up in here. Good.
So we got a lot of, new and black in Netflix. Netflix loves to come with the movies, the nostalgia, that we look for. So there are some great ones on this list. We're going to highlight a couple of new releases on there. I know Friday is one that I would like. I would see again and again and again. But one of the ones for me, because as I said, I was a dancer as well. I'm always a fan of Save the Last Dance. Kimberland, did you ever watch that movie?
It was one of my favorites. I used to love that movie so much. And I really don't know why, because she was not like cutting the rug for real.
No. There were moments in the dance scenes in the club for y'all some of y'all that remember. I was like, really? That's what we're doing in the club? No, sis. But for those of you that may not remember, this was the story. Julia Stiles was the lead actress, and then Sean Patrick Thomas was the lead male actor in it. She wanted to be a ballerina. There was a sudden death in the family, so she goes to live with her dad. And then in doing so, she has to change schools, where she meets Chenille, who some of y'all might not remember, was a very young Kerry Washington, pre-scandal days.
Right.
And then she falls in love with Chenille's brother, Derek, who's played by Sean Patrick Thomas. And he teaches her about, the world of hip hop and all the like cliche 90s stuff. But it just was so much fun. Thank you, Linda. She said it was her guilty pleasure. It really is. It really, really is. The music was good. The dancing was passable, but fun to watch. And you just couldn't help but smile at the end. So that's I guess I'd call that too my guilty pleasure. So Save the Last Dance is coming to Netflix. Thank you, Netflix, for that. I'll be watching that later.
Yeah, I might do it for nostalgia's sake for sure.
You have to.
There is a new show that's coming out, and it's called Intergalactic. So I have been kind of understanding that there is a culture, passable dancing, there's a culture of people that really get into these animated films that are happening right now. And let me go back. So
Mhm.
Intergalactic is produced by Kenya Barris. And if you don't know, Kenya Barris is the producer of all the Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish shows,
All
right?
the issues.
All the issues, right? And it also comes from the mind of Kid Cudi, who is a rapper that you may or may not be familiar with. So Intergalactic is basically a story of a young artist who has moved into his dream Manhattan apartment, and he is venturing through trying to figure out what that looks like and sounds like for him as he is trying to navigate those spaces. So it sounded pretty interesting to me. Again, I love music, so I'm like, well, the soundtrack is probably going to be pretty dope.
Yep.
So I'm thinking about checking this out, this Intergalactic, and seeing what it's talking about.
It's animated, so I mean, I'll check it out first to make sure it's like okay, because I don't know if this is like kid animated
So it
appropriate.
says it's adult. It says it is an
Okay,
adult animation. So I don't know what the themes and such are going to be. So this might be something we
so
watch
we're
when the
not
kiddos go
showing
to
it.
bed.
Yeah, we're not showing it to the small human. Got it.
No, no,
Okay.
no,
Mhm.
no,
But
no.
there is a culture for this, anime and sci-fi stuff. So if that's you, here's your movie.
Here's your chance. Now, what about this
Um, and
one?
if you are not so much maybe into the animated or into the sci-fi, here's one that is definitely based in reality. If Beale Street Could Talk, it was out just a couple years ago. And if you remember this grab your tissue boxes, be sitting down, have your glass of wine because this one's going to tug at your heartstrings. It was directed by
Yeah.
Barry Jenkins, and it is definitely a social issue drama. It's based on the book of the same name by James Baldwin, which I always find interesting. I just love him. And it's about a
So
young woman
much.
who gets pregnant out of wedlock. She embraces her pregnancy, but then she finds her and her family are busy trying to help her childhood friend and lover be proven innocent of a crime that he did not commit. So it's a beautiful love story. It is heart-wrenching. It also features Regina King and Anjanou Ellis and Michael Beach in it. So just a really great cast.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
Yes.
check that out if you're looking for something on the more emotional side.
I love it. So this one was really interesting that came up, and I don't know if any of you all are familiar with the author Angie Thomas, but you are probably familiar with some of the what do I want to say? So her previous works, right? So Angie Thomas is the author of The Hate You Give. And we now have a new project that we are bringing forward, or she's bringing forward, and it's called On the Come Up. So we have a trailer that we do want to show to you all about this. This is a coming of age tale. It's going to be streaming on Paramount Plus in September, and it's actually Sanaya Lathan's directorial debut. And she's also acting in the film as well. So there are a lot of like juicy pieces in here that are going to come as we're looking at this movie, but it's an adaptation of Angie Thomas's best-selling novel, On the Come Up, and it's billed as a love letter to hip hop. It follows a young girl named Bree and her dream to take the battle rap scene by storm. So give me just a second. I'm going to get this trailer up for us so that we can check this out and determine whether we're actually going to pass or play.
I gotta tell, I'm excited for this one. I saw the trailer, and then we watched the other day. I'm here for this. I'm here for any story. I think where it's that coming of age, because then I always like to put myself in the movie. Like
Yeah,
that's my story. Like I'm coming
right.
with it.
Yes.
So, and I love Sine Lathan. So I'm so excited for her as her directorial debut. I hope this is a hit and people receive it well.
So let's see, y'all. Check this out. So watch the trailer here with us and let us know in the comments if this is something that you would be willing to check out.
Concrete Rose.
I lost my job.
What are we gonna do about rent?
I'm looking for work.
Bree, listen, if you want to make it, it's going to take more than the ring.
See, making hits, that's what I do. You got it, didn't you?
The right song at the right time.
And boom, you're going to be on the come up.
You can't stop. You can't stop. You can't stop. You can't stop my come up. Yeah. We about to be homeless. I got a lot on the line right now.
And that's exactly what you need. Use that as fuel. Come on.
Is this hip hop or kids bop? Feel like I'm watching Disney. Meanwhile, my bars hit like when Boys in the Hood pulled up on Ricky. You can't stop my come up. You can't stop my come up.
It's just a song.
It's not just a song. It is a statement. If you're going to come at people, then you better be ready.
You can't stop my come up. Yeah.
You just be you. It's all the special you need.
She can't nobody stop my come up. Y'all want to know who I am? B to the R.I. fam.
Damn. Hey.
She said, "You can't stop my come up." Listen, I'm singing that already. That's my
Yes.
We're here for it. Thank you.
I love it. So one of the things I saw during that time with the trailer is some of the things that they were centering in on, like the words like that were coming up was like find your voice, you know, and I forgot what the other one was. Find your voice, know your voice, or something to that effect. So what we want to know is, what is something that you would tell your teenage self to help you find your voice? What is something you would tell your teenage self to help you find your voice? Drop that in the comments for us. Let us know.
And while the community's dropping that in the comments, can I just pause for 1 minute? And can we appreciate Method Man?
Listen, honey.
Fine.
Honey.
Oh,
listen. Let me find a picture to get up. Because listen, I already, you know, I be here for the coming of age stories, you know, all the things, right? I be here for that. I be here for things that have to do with music. You feel me? So I was already gonna watch it, but honey, the Method Man. I
would tell my teenage self, don't drool over that man.
Oh,
don't embarrass yourself. That's what I would tell my teenage self. Act like you have some sense. Act like you have some sense. No,
that is so funny. But yeah, so what is something that you would tell your teenage self to help you find your voice?
Oh, I love what Andrea said. How they treat you does not define you. I still remember that now. Thank you.
Ooh, I like this one. Yolanda says, she said, family and relatives are not the same.
Can we repeat that for the people in the back?
Family and relatives are not the same.
Thank you.
Whew.
That's a whole word right there.
Lou, look at what Margaret said. You are wonderfully unique, and don't be afraid to take up space.
Thank you. I'm writing these down. I'm putting them on my mirror to remind myself.
Listen. Jennifer says, set boundaries with people. Like, if I knew when I was a kid what boundaries were, and as a teenager looking to find my voice, honey, they wouldn't have been able to tell me nothing. Okay.
Things would have been very, very different.
Okay.
I love this. Your vibe will attract your tribe. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Sarah. And I see that more and more. I see people that I'm around and I go, what was my thought process, my behavior when they came around? I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This connects. I got it.
Yes. Man, I love that. Looks like Tianda has, it's okay that they, girl, let me start over. Because I was reading ahead and it is okay that they don't get it. That doesn't mean you can't move forward. Do you know how many times we have stopped doing things because somebody else didn't understand what it was, but it wasn't for them to understand?
Yeah.
Y'all better come on. Y'all better come on with this wisdom.
Tianda, because I want to make sure I say it right. Girl, I was literally, I'm not even lying, was having a conversation with someone last night about art. And I said I needed to feel validated in this. And she said, maybe it's not for them. I was like, you know what? You're right.
That's it.
It's not for them. I love it.
Shout out to Sab, who is in the comments. She said, you are not here to make people feel good about what you decide to do with your life.
I love that.
Yo.
I love that.
Y'all gotta listen. Y'all go ahead on and get in the comments and save some of these, because these might need to be the affirmations, like Aisha said, that we put onto our mirrors, and that we share with the young people in our lives, because this is y'all coming with the wisdom. Yolanda said no is a complete sentence.
I know, right? That's true. I love that no is a complete sentence. Yes, it is. I don't need to give you an explanation or anything else beyond that. No.
That's it.
Start to finish, done.
Period.
Love it.
Okay.
I love this. This is why we need some of y'all coming out of the comments, bringing you on, because these words of wisdom, y'all be dropping for real.
That's it. That's it.
What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that I am enough.
Yeah.
Very, very simple. I feel like I spent my youth trying to prove that I was good enough. And everything was like, I'm a good girl. Like, look, I do the things. And, I'm just constantly, just constantly seeking affirmations. And I would tell my young self, you're enough. You are enough. Like, me showing up in my totality is enough. What about you?
I mean, probably along those same lines, spent a lot of time thinking I wasn't good enough. I'll be honest, I quit a lot of things because subconsciously I thought, well, I'm not good at it anyway. Yeah. So why am I doing this? Yeah. I would probably tell myself that, I'm stronger than I think I am. I know I'm stronger than I think I am, that I can do more than I think I can.
Yeah.
And don't let anybody else's no turn into my no.
Okay, slow snap. Okay.
Thank you.
Listen. Okay. So yeah, y'all keep those coming in the comments. So what are some things that you would say to your teenage self to help you to find your voice? What is something that you would say? Yolanda said, my grandmama said, baby, it ain't none of your business what somebody else think about you. Do it anyway.
Shout out to your grandmama, Yolanda.
Okay. So having said that, we have another thing that is coming up. And Aisha, I know you were really excited about this.
Yes. I had to stop myself earlier. I'm not gonna lie. When we were talking about, who wants to come out of the comments, I really wanted to sing Be Our Guest. I was going to be like, be our guest, be our guest. That's what I really wanted to do. But I didn't. I refrained. But Beauty and the Beast, I love this movie. I love to sing. I always love the songs. I love that Belle was like, I don't give a gosh darn, I had to watch my words, about you and your muscles or whatever. I'm over here with my books. I should have been more like her and not falling for the bad boys. I loved Belle. I love Beauty and the Beast. So this movie is getting a refresh because it is a 30-year. Listen, Sab, you leave me alone. It is a 30-year anniversary of it. It is coming to Disney Plus. Excuse me. It'll be on ABC December 15th, and it'll be followed on Disney Plus on December 16th. Why is this relevant to us? Why are we bringing this to you? It's because Belle will be played by none other than her, the musician, the 5-time five-time Grammy award-winning artist. She won one of those. I believe she also won an Oscar for her song for Judah and the Messiah. She's going to be playing Belle. And this is huge. Obviously, the first time there has been a Black woman playing Belle. She's going to clearly put her stamp on it, her mark on it. So we are so excited. There are going to be some new songs in the movie that she's going to be singing. One of them's called she's the I Can't Breathe singer-songwriter. She was so excited. She couldn't believe that she'd be part of this legacy because that's a big deal. I mean,
yeah.
You ask most little girls, Belle's one of the princesses that they mentioned. They all know her. So she's so excited. We're excited for her. This is going to be huge for her, for the franchise, and for little girls that look like her, look like us, to see her as a princess persevering and doing it her way.
Yes.
No pun intended there.
All right. I see what you did there. Okay.
So ABC December 15th and Disney Plus on the 16th. So we're excited.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Kimberland, I know you are very excited about the next one.
So excited. So while you fangirl over Beauty and the Beast, I fangirl over The Little Mermaid. I have been in love with The Little Mermaid since I was 8 years old when it came out. And I was so excited to hear that Halle Bailey is going to be playing Ariel when that came out. Well, honey, Disney released a sneak peek and your girl was almost in tears. We're going to show y'all the trailer because we got to put some respect on it, okay? But oh my gosh, I just love The Little Mermaid so much. So The Little Mermaid is coming back to theaters. It's going to be out next year, May 26th to be exact. But this past couple weeks, Disney had their D23 Expo and they unveiled a sneak peek at the new film. So what we want to do is actually show you all the trailer for it in case you haven't seen it. I don't know if anybody else is like Little Mermaid fans, but what I can definitely say is if I were a kid, just like you were saying with Belle, if I were a kid and Ariel looked like me, like Halle Bailey was my understanding of who Ariel was, oh my gosh, I would have been walking around in a gown, just like being Ariel. Like it would have really just
everything.
Yeah.
I liked Little Mermaid a lot because she basically told her father off. And, so standing up to your parents, I was all about that.
Like, I'm here for it.
It's probably a good thing Halle wasn't the Ariel when I was a kid because I'd have gotten in more trouble.
That's true.
Like me.
You're very true. That's very true.
So let's just come after I'm a kid.
That is so funny. So let's watch this real quick, y'all, and tell me what you think in the comments.
Wish I could be part of that world.
Girl, she hits that B. Wish I could be. And I'm just like, my body got chills. I'm like, that nose is everything. I'm like, go, you sing your face off, Hallie. You go, girl.
It just made me so happy inside. Y'all probably know that I am a Chloe and Holly stan. I love them so much, and I just appreciate seeing. I appreciate seeing how both of them have grown into their young adulthood. But I am so proud of Holly, and I feel like this is going to have a level of soul and connectedness that we didn't really have in the original version. So Yolanda says she's 49 and in love with it already. Yolanda, let me tell you something. Just like we get dressed up for Wakanda, for Black Panther and such, I am trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. I may just dress up as Ariel. Like, that is how serious I am about loving this.
If you show up in a mermaid tail, I need pictures.
Honey, you know it's gonna be some pictures, okay?
No,
like,
it can happen. I need pictures. You in a mermaid tail. You already got the red hair.
See, so I've been leaning in that direction already. Y'all gonna see. I'm not gonna spoil it, okay? Y'all gonna see what it's gonna look like when I do it. But what I'm trying to tell you is, don't be surprised, okay? Mind your business if you see me out here dressed up. I'm just saying.
Don't
okay?
judge. Don't judge. Here we go. Don't judge. Just join in.
That's it. Just mind your business. Okay. So again, this is going to be coming out May 26th of next year. It'll be here before you know it. So go ahead and put it on your calendars, because sis is going to be there opening day. Okay. I am ready and here for it.
I'm even more excited after hearing her sing, because I'm not gonna lie, like that she hits that one note and my body went woo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Baby girl can sing. Like, I'm here for it. So that's going to be dope. That is going to be really, really dope.
So we're going to move. We're going to transition from young girls standing up to their daddies to grown women taking over.
Come on, segue. I see you. I hear you over there. I hear you.
Girl. This Friday. So we got, new releases in the future. This Friday is where you want to be, your movie theater, because that's the only place you're going to find it. Friday, September 16th, Woman King. That's what we need. Women as kings.
Yeah.
Okay. Viola Davis. We've mentioned this movie brief before, but it is here. So we wanted to bring it back. And especially these beautiful women on the cover of Essence. Is just everything, just in all their beautiful glory. These simple black dresses looking like the goddesses that they are. Yeah. For those of you that don't know the story of the Woman King, this is a film based on true events, because I didn't know that until this film was being made.
I didn't either.
Yeah. This film is based on true events of the Kingdom of Dahomey in the late 18th century. It was a flourishing state in West Africa that was invaded by colonists. Shocking.
Right.
The story centers around General Nansika, which is played by Viola Davis, who is the strong woman king and leader of an all-female, because we be that behind, all-female army known as Agoji. I had to stop and make sure I said it right. And through her leadership, the army works to defend their homeland from enslavement as the kingdom faces a colossal threat of European invasion. Again, shocking. And I have to say this, I'm so excited because I've been reading the early screening preview reviews. The early screenings of the film are already bringing it strong critical acclaim. And here where I am, last week, there actually was an early screening that some people that I know, some ladies I know, were able to get free tickets. I had to work for me, tickets to go see it. And they said it is everything and more.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited to see Viola in this role. These women kicking behind. This Friday, September 16th.
Yes.
Woman King on.
Yeah.
I want to go. That's the outfit I want to wear.
Well, Karen is trying to figure out what we're wearing. So there's a meeting. There's a meeting in the comments about what the attire is. Okay. So hopefully by the end of the show, Karen, can you lead that charge for us? Okay. So we know what we are wearing to the Woman King. Okay.
I'm feeling like tight. I'm feeling like tight corset. So we're just, everything is free to move, to fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that.
I don't want anything restricting. I don't need a whole bunch of sleeves. No, ma'am. Yeah, that's what I love it. Corset tied in. Oh, ready to go.
Yes. Okay.
I'm going from working up. I'm gonna kick some behind.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So yeah, meet Karen in the comments, y'all, because she's trying to make sure that that we get our attire together. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna keep it moving and get into some top news topics, y'all. And we got some really important things. So we want to make sure that you're either taking notes or doing screenshots or something, because we have a lot that we want to share with you all. Okay. So start now.
This first one, Bank of America, those of you, we know Bank of America has done some shady things in the past, some things that have been a little questionable when it comes to Black and brown folks, but they are working hard to address those disparities in the lending programs with a new program meant to assist people in the Black and Hispanic communities to start their path towards home ownership. The program will be tried out in certain predominantly Black and Hispanic areas of Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, Miami, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Bank of America would not disclose the planned size of the program, so we don't know necessarily how many people it will affect in these communities, but it's expected to expand later to other cities. And what they're going to do under this program is they're going to give would-be owners $10,000 to $15,000 to start them off with equity in their home. And if you are looking into commercial real estate, they're going to give you upwards of $25,000 for commercial real estate. Their offering requires borrowers, however, to have certification from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, and counseling in order to qualify. So it's not just anybody saying, I want to buy a house, give me some money. There are some provisions along the way. But apply. If you're looking to buy a house, apply for these provisions. You might qualify. You don't know. I wish I was in the market. I already bought the house.
You heard me? Honey, okay.
Can I get some money retroactively?
I don't know, but in commercial property, maybe that's where you start to get into that market, which I think that's really exactly. And that's a place I think as Black people that we really do need to get into is commercial real estate. So thank you for Bank of America, to Bank of America for trying to right wrongs.
Right the wrongs. And we don't have all the details yet of how this is going to roll out, but just put it in the back of your brain, put it in the calendar, things to look for, because this might be something, keep it on your radar, that helps you out in the future. So we'll see.
Here for that. So speaking of things that might help us out, one of the things that we know is that everybody isn't going to college, nor can everyone afford college, right? We've been talking about student loans and student loan forgiveness and all of that almost every single show. Well, Essence came out with an article the other day, and they were talking about 8 YouTube channels that are just as good as college level classes, right? So one of the things we know about YouTube is it's free. Okay. I like to call it YouTube University. All right. So there are lots of free opportunities for us to be able to get education on YouTube, whether that be in finances or real estate, like we were just talking about, personal development, professional development, like all the things are on the YouTube. So some of the channels that they highlighted that I'm very familiar with, one is Skillshare. It's a channel that they highlighted. Another is TED. So you all are probably familiar with TED Talks and things of that nature. But I wanted to also shout out 2 pages that I really like as well. One is called, what's the guy's name? The Wall Street Trapper. the Wall Street Trapper. So he is actually a gentleman from New Orleans, and he makes finances really simple, right? Now, I will admit, my degrees are in biology and education, okay? Finance is not a place that I never took an economics class. I never took a business class. I was inundated with science classes, right? So as much as I try to get into the zone, sometimes I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. So, right. But I'm so grateful that there are channels on YouTube that I can go to get that information. So that is one. The other one is a channel called Big Think. And they have all sorts of programming about all sorts of things. And I just get wrapped up in the YouTube vortex. Okay. I just be in there for forever. So what we're wondering, or what are some of your go-to channels on YouTube University? If you can drop those into the comments for us, because, you know, we trying to better ourselves. We trying to make sure we out here getting this education. You feel me? So do you have any that you go to, Aisha?
I don't. Well, that's not entirely true, but you got to remember, most of the ones that I'm going to right now are
probably for
kids.
the little guy. Yeah.
For the little one.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm looking. And there's one I use with my first graders when we're talking about color and art. It's called Art Hub for Kids. I think the guy has like 12 children. I'm not even lying. But he's an amazing artist, and he does these art tutorials. And usually one of his kids is right there with him. So when you're watching and you're a little kid, you see somebody else your size, your age. And there's two. And he leads them through these amazing drawings. And I'm like, how'd that kid do that? I can't even do that. So we watch that one a lot. Yeah, a lot of kid ones. So
that's okay. That's okay. That's all right, because somebody might be looking for some good programming for their kids as well. Linda also shared, she said she's taking plenty of classes on YouTube. Clever Girl Finances is a YouTube channel that she frequents. So if you all will drop some of those into the comments, because again, we're always making sure that we are putting ourselves in position to show up as our very best selves. So anything that might give us a different way to look at the world could be beneficial. So drop those into the comments, your favorite or your go-to YouTube University channels, whatever they might be, whatever age, and then we'll collect some of those and add them to our personal little toolkit that we have here.
Love that. So kind of keeping on with our education moment here with your two educators here, I'm actually really excited for this one. If you have students in high school or close to high school age, then this is really one that you're going to want to think about, or if you work with high school kids. African American history is now going to become an AP course offered to high schools across the U.S. This was not something that was done before. Typically, AP courses are in English, social science, and math, and various languages, even languages we don't even use anymore. So to have an African American AP history course is going to be enormous. The College Board, who is the one that kind of creates and does all of the AP program, they are introducing a pilot program to 60 high schools across the country with this African American history AP course, in hopes that it will inspire students with a fuller appreciation of the American story, which I love that the College Board said that. Thank you for recognizing that our history is American history.
Exactly.
So I'm here for that. Currently, students only can take about 30 AP courses in those subject areas I mentioned. This course, now here's the great part. This course was actually developed with high school teachers at the help and at Howard University. So it was developed by teachers in a place with teachers that look like us. So I'm very excited for that. And here, for me personally, there's a lot of talk about universities and HBCUs, and I love them. And I know, Kimberland, you are very proud of your alma mater. I don't get to talk about mine very often, but one of the 60 colleges participating is Florida State University. So something good coming out of the state of Florida with my alma mater. Thank you. Yes, I'm excited by this one. Yes, ma'am. So we don't know the other 60 colleges, but I would say look it up. There's going to be a list. They'll let you know. It might be a college near you. It might be a college near where your student wants to go. So this is something, definitely keep that in the back of your mind. And how great is it that our high schoolers, soon to be college kids, get to participate in this? And yes, Howard, you know.
You shouted that out like you went there, girl. I love that. So continuing the education, again, we told you all we want to make sure that we are putting this information out there. So it has come to our attention that Princeton University has decided that they're going to cover college costs for students whose families earn less than $100,000. They announced a major expansion of their financial aid policy for students from families earning less than $100,000 annually, meaning that those students will pay nothing for tuition, room, and board. Now, being a student who went to school on a full scholarship, something I'm super passionate about is making sure that children who have done the work to earn the grades and get the test scores are rewarded by not having to have the financial burden of paying for undergrad. So this is an amazing opportunity for any of our students who may be looking to go to Princeton University. They have now removed that barrier of how in the freaking heck are we going to pay for this, and are now covering that cost for students who qualify to get in. So if you know a student, or you're connected to students who are looking at Princeton or schools or looking in that direction and thinking about Ivy League and what that might look like, please know that this opportunity is available. Please pass it on to as many people as you can possibly share it with, because they got the money, y'all. I be saying that all the time. They got the money, okay? We just need to show up like, appreciate you. Go on and cut that check. Go on and get that Kimberland, Kimberland. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Like, put your student in position to be able to access education. So again, anyone who is looking at college and getting ready to go to college, this is an amazing opportunity for them.
Go Princeton.
Yes. So speaking of Ivy Leagues, speaking of Ivy League grads, we could not have this show without acknowledging our forever president and our forever first lady, Barack Michelle Obama. They just went back to the White House the past couple weeks after leaving the White House in 2017 in order to reveal their portraits that will permanently reside in the presidential mansion. Some of you all may know that they actually, usually this happens with the next administration, but oh boy, that was in there. It wasn't so hot to go back, right? So they have finally had the opportunity to go back into the White House and reveal their portraits. And these are the portraits, again, that are going to hang in the White House for eternity. Every president is acutely aware that we are just temporary residents, Barack Obama said. We're renters here. We're charged with the upkeep until our lease runs out. So this is their impression that they're making to honor their 8 years that they spent serving the country. And I am in love with both of these photos.
These paintings are so beautiful and classy.
Yeah,
just like them. And I love it. I love everything, the colors, everything about them. I love it.
Same. I'm here for it. Yeah,
I'm so excited. I'm loving the comments. Irma, our forever fine president. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Dee said they look regal, and they do. They do.
Yes.
And that's something that I take so much pride in with their presidency, that they put so much dignity into the White House. And I think they will forever be revered for that. So congratulations to them. This
regal and dignity are great words for them.
Yeah.
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 So Moving on, our forever president and first lady being from Chicago, Illinois. We're going to keep in Chicago, but maybe not the happiest news right now. If you are in Chicago, you think you are in Illinois, thinking about going to Illinois, we got some important information for you. Beginning in January of 2023, January 1, not that long away, Illinois is going to take its place in history when they become the first state to test out the purge in real life. Have you ever seen that show before? They have a law that was passed by the House of Illinois that is going to go into action on that date. It's called the Safety Act. It's going to charge and release criminals without the need for cash bail for 12 now non-detainable offenses. And what that means to you and me is basically if you are arrested and you are charged with one of these crimes, if the judge says that we think or he or she thinks that you are, okay, not a threat to the community, they will let you go without a bail needed. Now, what are these 12 non-detainable offenses? Oh, they are big ones and, wonderfully interesting ones like second-degree murder, aggravated battery, arson, drug-induced homicide, kidnapping, burglary, robbery, intimidation, aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding, drug offenses, and threatening a public official. Now, the Safety Act, it stands for Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equity Today Act. It was passed with the backing of the Illinois legislature, the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus on January 13th of 2021, actually. It goes into effect in 2023, and their goal is to reform police training, certification, and use of force standards, expanding detainee rights, and requires body cameras at all departments by 2025. So it's going to be a slow rollout of the policies that go along with this. People that are proponents of the reform say it's a step forward to making the justice system equitable and fair for Black, Latino, and minority communities, because we know our people are more often than not unfairly and unequitably placed behind bars, that school to prison pipeline there,
right,
and have been disproportionately harmed by the law. The bill does abolish cash bail in Illinois, and it will replace it with a system that will prioritize the severity of an offense. So just because it is one of these 12 offenses, depending on, I guess, how bad or how severe the burglary was or the arson was, you're going to be prioritized as to whether you actually have your cash bail abolished or not, or how much of it. Part of that it being, are you at risk of not appearing for the court? And are you a threat or danger to another person or the community if you are to be released? That's a lot going on in Illinois, folks.
It is.
So we want to know, what do you think of this list? And what do you think of what their end game is? They say it's to help our people who are disproportionately punished by the system. What do you think? And I like right there. She said, what happens to the victims?
Right. So I have mixed feelings about this. I can see both sides of it. I can see, because when I first ran across it, I was like, okay, why? Like, what is the motivation? And I was like, it has to be something in regards to over policing and, holding people in jail. Again, there have been many people that have had to stay in jail because they didn't have the cash to pay bail. So I definitely understand that. Where I struggle is in the list of offenses. Like, I feel like, second degree murder, for instance, is crime of passion, right? It wasn't premeditated. However, you still killed somebody. So it's like, I can't with that. Like, so just looking at this list, I feel like all of these offenses can be supremely dangerous. So I'm hoping that there's some kind of caveat in there for, again, the severity of it. But I also at the same time understand why the Black Caucus was pushing for
Behind
it. Yeah. So I kind of have mixed feelings. What about you?
Well, one of the things that, I'm seeing already is that there were several mayors across Illinois who were not for it.
Right.
They were not behind it. So you have to wonder in my brain, if the leader of your city is not for it, how much are they going to push for this to actually be enforced?
Right.
Because
That's true.
no law is worth anything if it's not enforced.
That's true.
So that's my first real thought. And then I agree with you that when I saw this list, I was like, kidnapping, the murder,
Yeah.
like those are just things that I'm okay if there's a cash bond or needed for that. I want it to be harder for you to get out of jail. That, like, robbery, there's a difference between somebody stole your wallet versus grand theft robbery.
Right,
Somebody stole millions, and like they're not the same. So I feel like there's a lot of gray area with this. I will say, since the act has been passed, they've already done several referendums on it. So we'll see what some more of those referendums are and how it actually plays out. But this is happening in Illinois, and there's nothing to say this won't spread to other states. So keep that in mind.
So to that point, one of the reasons that we're always talking to you all about voting and understanding what's happening across the country is because these types of policies can very well show up in your state or in your city, right? And our local elections are the elections that control our daily life. So we want to take another opportunity to remind you to vote. It is primary season right now. If you have a primary coming up, make sure that you're voting in that primary. A lot of things, believe it or not, are decided in primary elections, such as judges that are going to sit on seats, school board, some House races, like state and House and Senate races are decided depending on whether the candidate is contested or not. So it's just really important, y'all, that we make sure that we are aware of what's happening and that we do our due diligence as we are voting to make sure that we have a say in these types of policies. What were you about to say?
Kimberland, can I jump on a soapbox really fast? I promise I won't take more than 10.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When it comes to voting, the number one thing I hear from people all the time, when it comes to local elections, they'll research, they'll look in, oh, yep, I'm an avid voter, this, that, and the other. You ask them about the school board and crickets.
Yeah, they don't know.
Listen, people, I don't care if you don't have children.
Right.
Let me be crystal clear. The school board elections affect you too. Because these children that are being taught by teachers who are having to follow these rules by these local school boards, these children will grow up. They will be part of your community. They will be your future doctor. They will be your future lawyer. So these school board elections are just as important to you, whether you have children, you don't have children, your children are grown, whatever. So please pay attention to them along with all of the other local officials being voted on. So I will jump down off my soapbox now.
No, I appreciate you bringing that up because, as you said, many people don't know and don't understand why it's important. So thank you for bringing that because we need to make sure that we know how these things impact us. So having said that, thinking about things that are impacting us right now, we do have two stories for our Black Lives Matter section that we want to elevate and we want to share. It's very likely that you may have heard about these stories, but some of you may have not. So the first story is out of Jackson, Mississippi. So Jackson's water system is failing. The city will be with no or little drinking water indefinitely. We know that Flint, Michigan has been in this situation for I don't know how many years now. And Jackson, Mississippi the residents of Jackson, Mississippi have found themselves in the same situation. Just like with Flint, Jackson, Mississippi has a whole lot of Black people that are trying to now figure out how they are going to have a reliable water service. So the mayor spoke of the systemic disinvestment that has led to this lack of running water in the majority Black city. There's a lot going on, and there are a lot of people who are banding together to try to provide some level of support when it comes to what's going on in Jackson. So we wanted to make sure that we shared some links with you all that you can use if you are feeling led. We know that we always want to make sure that our information that we provide is reliable and that it is actually going to help the community, right? And it's not just going to pad somebody's pockets. So we do have a couple links, and I'm dropping that into the chat right now. So one is this is actblue.com. So they are doing some work there, as well as Operation Good and the Immigrant Alliance for Justice and Equality. So all of those links we're going to drop into the chat now. Do go to those links and see how you can help. Talk to your churches, talk to your Greek letter organizations, talk to your employers, talk to people about what's happening and keep this in the forefront so that we can do everything that we can to help the people of Jackson. It's really interesting. You all know I spend a lot of time in Mexico, and we don't drink the water here in Mexico. So it is bottled water, right, that we utilize. But what I can say is that water is really inexpensive here. I can get 5 gallons of water for maybe $2. And that's in the store. That's not just refilling, bringing my container and refilling at the water machine. Like, that's actually going to the store. And unfortunately, in the US, water is not accessible like that to meet that need. So the residents of Jackson really do need help. Because imagine what it would be like. I've been seeing videos that I can't really watch, but they kind of catch me off guard sometimes. The videos of the brown water that is coming out of faucets right now. Like, it is not even at a place where you're like, boil the water. Like, I wouldn't even trust it to boil it. It's not a good situation. So let's do everything that we can to wrap our arms around those who are in Jackson and elevate this issue so that something can happen, and unfortunately, as Irma said, the Republican governor, I don't know what the Republican governor is doing. I don't know, but I know that we can do something.
Absolutely. And kind of speaking of doing something, we always want to make sure that we talk about our safety as well, ladies. We know that several of you are in the dating world. Good luck to you. And several of you, that ain't for me right now. And several of you are into the online dating. So we wanted to bring you this story that you may have heard about. This is a young woman named Irene Gakwa. She moved from Kenya. She moved here to the US, and she had dreams. She met a boyfriend on Craigslist, and now she is missing. She has vanished. She moved to the U.S. She had dreams of a career in healthcare. In February, she vanished from her home in Wyoming that she shared with this boyfriend that she met on Craigslist. The mystery of her disappearance is deepening. And right now, like everybody, the community wants answers for her family, or they want answers, as her family sadly does fear the worst. What we do know is this: she's been missing since February, and her boyfriend bought a 55-gallon metal drum. Not for work, just bought one. And then he deleted her email account. We also know that he stole nearly $3,700 from Irene's bank account. Again, he took that, not her. She didn't give it to him. And he's already allegedly bought boots and a shovel using her bank card. So all of these things, incredibly suspicious. incredibly scary. So we wanted to make sure you ladies, especially, if you're in the dating community, you're dating online, or you know someone who is in the dating community, dating world, dating online, we wanted to give you the names of some apps that you could use for safety. Because really, at the end of the day, that's all we can do is protect ourselves the best we can. So
Right.
Life 360 is a family tracking app that you can have on your phone, your loved ones can have, so they can track you in real time, track your phone in real time to know where you are. Share Uber. Many of us have used Uber before. Share Uber is a great way to share your ride with friends and family. We know it's happened. You might be in Uber and they pick up some stranger who happens to be going in the same direction as you. With Share Uber, it's just you and then people in that ride. Protect yourself. And then another one is,
and then before you move on to the next one, Aisha, because this is one that I use often, is sharing Uber. And you can also share your trip with your family and friends. So, I be out here frolicking around all over the place. And so sometimes I'll share my rides with my selected group of people so that they can look and see where I am. And then it can also let them know when you've shown up to that location. So they've put those safety things in. Then they also have created an opportunity for you to be able, where'd it go? For you to be able to report a safety issue. So if something is happening in the car and you don't feel comfortable saying something to the driver, you can actually report the issue. And if you feel like it is important enough, you can actually call 911 assistance so that they can meet you where you are. So it shares your location. This also works, the safety toolkit, if you are an Uber driver, right? So we've also seen videos of Uber drivers who have been in situations where passengers are doing things that are unacceptable. So Share Uber is one that's really big that I use often. So just kind of want to give some additional insight to that.
No, thank you. Thank you for that. Absolutely. I've only ridden in an Uber a couple times, but I've always ridden with other people that I already knew. Not by myself. So that is very helpful. And this last app that we have that we want to share with you is called OnStar Guardian app. Many of you, you might have OnStar on your car. We've seen the commercial. They ask you, are you okay? Well, this is an app that you can actually use where it will offer real-time location status. And it kind of similar to the Share Uber, sharing your location with family and friends. So if something should happen, you say, I'm going this place, and they see on the app that you're suddenly someplace else, they can call, they can find out what's going on. Are you okay? So we just, our hearts go out to Irene's family, that hopefully they do find her and nothing, sinister has happened. But for us, for our sake, we want to make sure you have those ways to protect yourself as well. So love that. Thank you for sharing that about Share Uber, Kimberland.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like when we share stories like this, it can feel really helpless and we don't know what to do about it, right? So I appreciate that we had this information to share with the community, because we do want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to stay safe and that we're giving our loved ones the opportunity as well to know where we are, right? Just in case something happens. So
I wish some of these had been around when I was dating. Because I did do the online dating before my husband.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice because there were some scary, shady moments.
Yeah. But even if it's not dating, even if it's just that you're taking an Uber home, like I've been one of the reasons I did not like my time in DR is they really didn't honor Uber, and I was using Uber for these safety things. And the drivers would cancel the Uber ride to try to get you to pay them directly. And I was like, no, like I'm not doing that, right? So I wound up getting out of the Uber. But imagine there was actually one guy who canceled my trip while I was in the car. So there would have been no way. Yes. So there would have been no way for anybody to know that I was in the car, where I went, where he dropped me off, like none of those things. So just be vigilant as you're traveling, especially if you are a traveler. I use Uber all the time. So it definitely is. We need to just make sure that we're being vigilant. So we wanted to give you those apps, just so you know that there is something that we are able to do to be able to protect ourselves. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's jump into this discussion topic, honey, because this is a lot, right? And I need you all, before we jump into this, to go ahead and pause, share the broadcast, and tag at least 3 friends, okay? Because we need to have a meeting. We just really need to have a meeting to discuss some of the things that have been happening. Yeah, we just so get your people in here so that we can talk about this. So Meghan Markle.
I feel you. Take my breath.
I'm like, where do we start? There's so much. Okay, so let's start here. So Meghan Markle, who is the Duchess of Sussex, who is married to Prince Harry, she has a podcast. And recently she had an episode where she had Mariah Carey on her podcast, and they were talking about what it is like to live as a multiracial woman. And one of the things that Meghan Markle was quoted with saying is that she is just becoming to understand what it is like to be treated as a Black woman since she has married Prince Harry. Now, Meghan was raised by her mother, who is Black. Her father is white. And what Meghan said is basically, she was like, I think for us it's very different because we're light skinned, she explained. You're not treated as a Black woman. You're not treated as a white woman. You sort of fit somewhere in between. So there's been a lot of backlash and questions that have kind of bubbled to the surface about Meghan's statement, what this means, like what do we do with this piece of information? And one of the questions that came to my mind as I was kind of like stewing over this is, who defines Blackness? And what does that look like for someone who is not, quote unquote, fully Black, but in a situation where they may be multiracial and not necessarily being treated as Black, but also not being treated as other, and kind of in this middle space. So I want to kind of unpack this, right? Because I think that there's a lot of conversations in our communities about who's Black, who can describe themselves as Black, taking Black cards, assigning Black cards, like all of those things. So I really am like sitting with this question of, what is Black? Like how, like who and what is Black and who defines that?
So I have thoughts on this. You look at me, I'm light skinned. Like, I can't hide that.
Yeah.
I think, when I first heard about this and I heard about the statement that she said, it was the first time she felt what it was like to be treated as a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I get what she was trying to say. Mm-hmm. I don't think she chose the right words. Mm-hmm. So, it's one thing, you mentioned she was raised by her mother. Her mother mm-hmm. is Black. She was estranged mm-hmm. from her father. Mm-hmm. So we don't know her full childhood, what that was like, who she was around. In my mind, what I'm thinking was, since she was raised by her mother, who was Black, she mm-hmm. was probably around other people that looked either close to her or looked like her mom. So mm-hmm. she was treated like everybody else. Mm-hmm. When she married into this family, mm-hmm. The assumption is we marry into a family, they're all gonna love me because I'm a good person, I'm funny, I'm this, I'm that, or the other. It was probably one of the first times where she wasn't treated the same because she was funny or nice or, a good person. So in her mind, she's thinking, oh, you're treating me differently because of this. Mm. Whereas before, she was just treated like everybody else that she was around or she was in her family. You know what I'm saying? So it was the first time she was treated really differently. I I mean, and I can say, being light skinned, there is that kind of feeling of where am I? Where do I belong? I'm sure she has probably gotten the question, what are you? Are you, are you sure that's what you are? Like, that is a question that I can guarantee she's probably gotten. So it's, and to Yolanda's point, yes, colorism still exists within our own community, outside of our community. As light skin, a lot of times she probably might have been in communities where people she was the accepted Black.
Right.
The safe Black. Because, and there, to your point about, what is Black, who defines it, there is this stereotype, like, to be Black, I have to like certain music. I have to dress a certain way. I have to talk a certain way. Or as you know, my Black card's going to get pulled.
Right.
Who's assigning that? Who says?
Right.
So I think I understand what she was saying. I don't think she worded it very well. And
so I wanted to highlight one of these comments. Society has already decided who and what is Black, but depending on what your role as a Black individual is, you will have different interpretations. There are Black people who are tired of our treatment, whether blatant or subtle, that disregard Black people in the public eye, that don't even identify vocally and speak and fight on our behalf of incidents that shouldn't happen. Colorism exists and makes it easy for light-skinned Black people to either be one of us or try to fit in where they are comfortable. So also one of the things that I do not understand is what it is like to be a multiracial person who does not look the way that I would be expected to look, right? So when people look at me, they see a Black woman. They don't have to question whether I'm Black, but I still get asked the question all the time where I'm from. I've been told that my nose isn't Black enough. I've been told I don't talk Black enough. I've been told because I don't eat greens and chitlins that I'm not Black. So it's like, who are the gatekeepers of Blackness? And when are we as Black people going to stop oppressing each other about how Black we are? Now, having said that, Meghan Markle is not just Black. Right? So the question becomes, do we expect her to say that she's Black and deny the white side of herself? And if we do, why?
I think it becomes, a point where it's not so much denying the other side, it's really coming to understand, look, when I walk out the door, and this is, as someone, again, light skin, as I got older, and that's a lie. When I was young, I was 8 years old, and I've told you this story. I was 8 years old, and it was the first time I heard someone use the N-word towards me. And I didn't know what the N-word was when I was 8. I learned very quickly. I figured it out. I knew that it came from a place of hate.
Right.
Even as light skin, we know, and you come at some point in your life to, you walk out the door and the world is going to see you some type of way. And so I knew, the world's going to see me like I'm brown enough. They're like, okay, you're Black. And questions that people will ask you. Are you, like you said, somebody said, your nose wasn't wide enough, or you don't eat the right foods. Well, imagine getting asked that almost every single day.
Right.
Because they want you to pick. And it's not, and I think as a light-skinned person, and for Meghan Markle, I don't think that she, realized or figured out or thinks that, I'm denying my dad in her case. It's, I know society sees me this way. This is who I am. Let me be strong in that fact.
Right. But you
And
know what
then
I also think along with that though is she doesn't have to choose.
she doesn't.
Right.
And
So
that's totally
her
that's every individual person's decision.
right.
If she
So that's
if she
the
wants to, cool.
question. That's the question that I really struggle with is our expectation, not where she is coming from. She knows who she is. She is very
Yep.
clear. She says she's Black and she's white. Okay. But why do we as Black people want her to deny the white side of herself and only say that she's Black? She's not.
I
She's
think it's
Black
personal.
and white.
I think it's personal for a lot of Black people because
Mm.
we've had so many things taken away from us.
Mhm.
We've had our history rewritten. We've, lost our homeland. We've lost so much of our own culture. I think that many times what I see in conversations I've had with people that for a person and we're just going back mom and dad. Mom and dad are both Black. They talk to somebody like Meghan Markle. If Meghan says to them, I am both, it hits a nerve. Well, why can't you just choose us? Why can't you just choose to be Black, be one of us? It feels like a dagger, I think, for some people, many times if a multiracial person doesn't choose. And it's not. That's when we got to get out of our own heads and go, it's not personal. That's on her.
Right.
It's like those things we were saying.
It's her
earlier.
identity.
Yeah, it's like what we were saying earlier to our younger selves. Somebody else's no is not your no. Somebody else's truth is not your truth.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't take it so personal when somebody else, this is how they identify. Well, good on you. I'm going to keep it moving and be me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And there's another comment that I wanted to highlight here because we definitely want to bring the family into this, right? So I'm hoping I pronounced your name correctly. Coax Zamunda. I don't know. Tell us in the comments. We don't want to butcher your name. But the comment is, I feel like with how her husband's family still wears and uses items depicting slavery, it may be unsafe for her to be more open and vocal. So one of the things that we know, if you have watched the news at all, you probably have seen that Queen Elizabeth II, Coco, all right. So if you have been watching the news lately, you have seen that Queen Elizabeth has passed. Queen Elizabeth reigned over the Kingdom of England for 70 years, and she's passed at the age of 96. So we wanted to ask you all, how do you feel about her passing and what your thoughts are about her passing?
I say, while you ladies are putting that in the comments, it was weird. Like when I heard that she passed, because I have a very, I have a reverence for people when they die. Like I feel like, and I think that's just from my own history and experience with people who have passed on. So when she died, I kind of was like, first of all, I was like, because she's just always been there. So I was like, she's supposed to live forever. Like that's what went through my brain. Once I passed that, I felt bad, but I didn't feel bad for her. I thought about her as a grandmother. So I felt bad for her grandchildren. I felt bad for the great-grandchildren because this is a person. I'm not thinking of her as queen. I'm thinking of her as just a person that loves her, that's going to be sad, that's going to be upset. Their life's going to be a little different. So I felt bad for them. When I think about Meghan and I think about what she has experienced from this person and people close to her and not accepting her, I was like, big ups, good on you, peace out, have fun at the pearly gates. Like my emotions got a lot tougher and more cynical at that point.
Yeah. So we have a couple comments here. I don't care about it or her. We have another comment here that says the queen was worried about being Archie being too dark, and just decided to mind my business at that point.
Can I say real quick, just to clear that up, because I did look into that. They say both Meghan and Harry
say that it wasn't the queen.
That it wasn't the queen that said that,
Mm-hmm.
but whoever said it was still close to the queen, and the queen never, as far as we know, came out to say, "Hey, you shouldn't have said that."
Correct.
So she may not have said it, but her silence did also speak volumes. So
that part.
Just to clear that up.
So to that point, there are some folks that are very unmoved by the queen's passing, right? And one of those people is this professor, and we wanted to elevate her story. So this is Professor Uju Anya, and she's a professor at Carnegie Mellon. And basically what she said is, I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating. And folks took issue with that. And one of the folks that took issue with that is Jeff Bezos. Now, the irony of Jeff Bezos having anything to say, we're not going to open that box. We're not even going down that path. But one of the things that we wanted to highlight about this is the fact that England and the monarchy have a very long history of all of the things that Professor Anya said, of thieving, of raping, of genocide, of pillaging, of using people of color for their own gain, of colonizing, of all the things. Professor Anya made an additional tweet, and she said, if anyone expects me to express anything but disdain for the monarch who supervised the government that sponsored the genocide that massacred and displaced half my family, and the consequences of which those alive today are still trying to overcome, you can wish upon a star. So there are many folks that are not moved by the fact that Queen Elizabeth has passed. And one of the things that we know is there are many of us who in our lives may have had to kind of rectify this grief, if you will, of dealing with the passing of someone who has hurt us, right? I've seen so many pictures throughout this past week regarding England and Queen Elizabeth and how many countries were colonized and how many massacres and atrocities that there were. There were just so many that we can't even, I didn't either, like we can't even name them. So it really is coming. If you are a part of Black Twitter, or even I discovered this week, there's Irish Twitter, where people were very, very unmoved by Queen Elizabeth's death. So one of the questions that has been posed just kind of to the community, and this was from Ebony Magazine, the death of Queen Elizabeth II leaves me wondering, how do I mourn my oppressor? So again, you just talked about, Meghan Markle's experience with the Queen, with the royal family. Again, though she may not have been the perpetrator of some of the things in that situation, she also did not stand up for them and say that this is not okay. So how do we deal with grieving or dealing with the passing of someone who has caused us harm? So we came up with 3. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
No, I think for me, when it comes to Professor Anya's quote, her tweet, I have no problem. Like we're about to say, mourn how you want to mourn. It's your mourning, not mine. So I'm not going to tell you how to feel, because that's not my job. It's not my body. It's not my heart. It's not my spirit. That's on you. I think my only thing was that excruciating pain part. I, as Aisha, would not have said that. But if that's how she feels,
right,
that's you know. But that was the only when she said that, I was like, ooh, Okay. But again,
But again, we don't know her story. We don't know where her people
Right.
are from. She don't know what atrocity she's referencing, right?
Exactly.
So I
So
can't
that's
say
her.
that it's inappropriate. Like, that is her feeling, that
No.
it was excruciating pain. So it's not for you or I to then say, oh, well, she was wrong for saying it. Like,
No. That's her feelings.
that's her reality.
Thoughts. That's how she's expressing her emotions right now. We all know, don't suppress, express. When
Right.
it comes to those emotions.
Yes. So speaking of that, we wanted to give you all 3 actionable steps and things that we can do if we find ourselves in the situation of grieving someone who has caused us harm. If we have not already had this experience, at some point we may have this experience. So we want to make sure that we equip ourselves with some things that we can do to grieve people who may have hurt us, because it's still a loss, even if it doesn't elicit certain feelings. It is still a loss. So the first thing is to allow yourself time, right? Give yourself grace. There is no established end time on grieving, and there is no linear process of going through grieving, right? So give yourself grace and time to be able to go through that process, and then spend time investing in yourself so that you are really able to take care of you and think about the things that you need for your spirit. Focus on your breathing, focus on mindfulness, so that you can anchor yourself in moments where you may feel the grief becoming overwhelming, or the anger that sometimes comes because, again, that person has caused you harm. The
And
second
please
thing, go ahead.
Can I add to that real quick? Please don't ascribe to the time heals all wounds. That's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that wound might not fully heal, and that's okay. Please don't ascribe to that. Like, time doesn't always heal all wounds, and it will be okay.
Yeah, it's a process, right? It's a process. So give yourself grace in that process. The second is to face reality. Acknowledge how you feel, right? We spend a lot of time, especially as brown women, suppressing our feelings. So one of the things that's really important is to really acknowledge how we feel. Tell your story to safe people, right? Whether that be your therapist, whether that be your partner, whether that be your inside friend group, but allow yourself to actually voice how this loss is making you feel, and then be deliberate about documenting your journey. Time changes how you feel, right? So, and that could go in many directions, right? So as you're going through that journey, like, actually pay attention to what that looks like, what that feels like for you. Again, this is your personal journey. This is not for anybody else to understand. This is your personal journey. Coco said, as a crisis counselor, I let my clients know all the time it's very important to also be patient with yourself and to not be upset with yourself if you do find yourself sad about the loss, right? Yeah. Again, this is a loss. Even though there may be some negative feelings associated with that loss, this is still a loss, right? So again, give yourself space in that process. Irma says sometimes people, when you acknowledge how you feel, people think you're too sensitive. And what I'm going to say to that, Irma, is then that's not the people that you want to be sharing with, right? So again, sharing in a safe, supportive environment, right? People that don't have all this judgment to pass about how you are grieving, right? There is no too sensitive when you are dealing with your grief. You honor what that looks like. The last of these is choose forgiveness. And we probably have all heard, forgiveness is for the other person. It's not for you. Forgiveness is really for you to be able to release the hold that this person has on your mind and on your spirit, because they don't have that much power over you anymore. Right. So when you go through that forgiveness process, it's really giving yourself the opportunity to release those burdens, to release their choices, to release their actions, and say that you now have power over yourself. Recognizing that hurt people, it doesn't excuse the behavior. but that might be the reason why. So if that helps as you're seeking forgiveness and looking for the humanity in this person, because this is a person, right? And I do want to say, like, there's not this good bad binary. Like, none of us are all good or all bad. Like, we're all on the spectrum of good and bad, and depending on what day it is, you can listen, right? So so it's important for us to release ourselves and release other people from that good bad binary. It is very possible for someone to cause you great harm and you to still feel that there were positive impacts that they had on your life. That is a very possible thing, and that is okay. So again, in that forgiveness process, actually releasing that person from the things that they have done and taking back your power over your feelings so that you can live a life free from this weight on your shoulders, and walking around in an angered state that it is prohibiting you from being able to live, and you're still here, right?
I love that. These are honestly, these tips are so good, and they're all ones that we can do, but they might all be ones that we need to work on. I know for me personally, choosing forgiveness, I will hold a grudge. I openly admit I need to work on that, and not holding a grudge and letting it go and choosing forgiveness. And the other thing I know for me is I overthink. So if someone hurts me, then I internalize, oh my goodness, what did I do? What did I do to cause you to react that way? What did I do to cause you to hurt me? Instead of releasing and saying, this might not have anything to do with me at all. So I forgive you for the choice you have made in how you decided to react to me. And that's a process. And sometimes it's easier with some folks than it is, with some people we encounter than it might be with others. And that's okay, as long as we're willing to keep growing in that. So thank you for these tips. These are,
and thank you for sharing that. That was powerful. So our very last thing, y'all, that we want to share today is our beautiful brown girl spotlight. And my computer is being a hater and it doesn't want to show her gorgeous face.
No!
Oh my God. What the heck? What the heck?
Right,
oh my God.
While you're bringing it up or trying to with your computer, our beautiful brown girl spotlight this week, her name is Megan Pifus. And that name might not mean anything to you, but her voice very well may. If you have little ones, or maybe you work in education too, and you're spending some time watching Sesame Street, you might be familiar with the puppet or Muppet, Gabrielle. And Gabrielle is a little black girl. She is adorable. And she is voiced by Megan Pifus, who is a Vanderbilt ventriloquist. She is the first Black female puppeteer on Sesame Street. In all of their 50 years, she's the first. And if you're familiar with Gabrielle, she sings a wonderful song called I Love My Hair. And that was the first time I saw her, and I absolutely love that song. I play that for my little one. Megan she had a lucrative career in real estate, but like so many, she was a longtime fan of Sesame Street. And even growing up, she got into ventriloquism because of Sesame Street. And even with her career in real estate, as successful as she was, she had these other dreams with her ventriloquism. She's appeared on The Tonight Show, America's Got Talent. And 2 years ago, she achieved that dream of being a puppeteer on Sesame Street. And we're so excited for her bringing this beautiful character to life. So a wonderful character that little girls can look up to and see themselves on Sesame Street. Yay. And we love that she's voiced by someone that looks like us. So great job, Megan. And you can find her, I Love My Hair, on YouTube. If you just type that in for Sesame Street, you'll find it. And it's wonderful.
And
Absolutely.
I am so sorry. The pictures are not freaking coming up. And I'm like, why is the computer being a hater?
See.
But what we're going to do is drop the link into the chat, and on our next show we'll start the show off by showing who she is, so that you all can see her gorgeous face. I don't know why these internets decided to start hating right this minute, but we are definitely wanting to honor Megan because she is setting a precedent. So we definitely want.
Oh, and while Kimberland is having some internet issues over there, I'm trying, y'all, because she's adorable and I want to see if we can pull her up. But in the meantime, hopefully you ladies have enjoyed what we've been doing today. We want to make sure that you stay connected to us in all the ways possible. You can find us on Facebook at Beautiful Brown Girls. You can join our Facebook group, Beautifully Shaded. You can find us on Instagram at Beautifully Shaded. You can like us on Twitter at Beautiful Brown U, all the places. And you can also, we would love to encourage you to join us on what we call Mighty Networks. It is our wonderful VIP members network space where we stay connected with all the things Brown Girl related without the Facebook algorithms bringing us down and deciding what we can and can't say and can and can't talk about. And you can find that at members.beautifulbrowngirls.com. I'm going to drop that link. Hopefully it will let me. I'll drop that in the chat box there. Let's see if it'll let me drop that. Ooh, maybe. There we go. Members.beautifulbrowngirls.com, where we do all the things such as we do all the things. We have our book clubs. We have Zumba. You can find out about our Hey Beautiful meetups, our virtual meetups, our in-person meetups. You can find us all the things. Yolanda, you are so welcome. You can find me, ladies. Kimberland, I know she's not here, but I'll give her the shout out too. You can find her at her website, KimberlandJackson.com. You can also find her on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can also find her at Minding My Black Ass Business. That is her website where you can find her and all of her frolicking adventures. For me, ladies, you can find me on Instagram. Art in Between is the name of my Instagram there, ladies, where you can follow me on my art journey. I am loving it. I'm doing big things. So come follow me, find me, purchase some art. Everything's for sale. So we hope that you will follow us, find us, like us. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight, ladies, and that you will come back. We'll be here in 2 weeks. Kimberland will be back. Sab will be back from enjoying her day off. I'll see you back in the comments in 2 weeks. And other than that, ladies, we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Mwah! Bye. Mm-hmm.